Hello, welcome to Dragon Oak Treasures, eBay. Well, today is not about eBay. Today is about history. I wanted to share some history about another ancestor of mine, George Morton. He was, first of all, I want to say hello, thanks. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be awesome, man. That'd be so cool. And I still haven't got to fixing anything against, subscribe button. And I'm gonna start getting on my computer so I can have any comments. Please ask us some questions. I'll do my best, do the best I can. I'm just throwing out what I know, some information, facts, and fun stuff, like the Statue of Liberty. How she has our toe, and the Sheriffs of Nottingham with Robin Hood coming out. And so I just wanted to share another fun fact about George Morton. And I don't want to be all uptight, so please, help me out. Any suggestions, please, they're welcome. Now, George came over on the Anne, and the little James was with him with the boat, and it was in July 1623. George Morton, his wife, and Thomas Morton Jr., Thomas the pagan pilgrim, well, his son actually came with George and my grandfather's family right there. It's pretty cool because a lot of these President Trump's been picking on Warren about being friends and knowing Pocahontas, man. You want to hear something funny? Elizabeth Warren, the wife of Richard, which is on the Mayflower and stuff, well, their family came over with my grandfather, George. So all the women and children, after they had a leak in a boat, went back, and they ended up coming. All the men pretty much were on the Mayflower. Well, George stayed back, and I'll tell you what book he published and other stuff. But it's funny because a lot of these people on these ships, they let me see a couple, like John Faunce. It has something to do with the Plymouth Rock. He married Elizabeth Morton, I believe. They're all, like I mentioned before, like Barbara Standish, how Thomas Morton was picking on Standish, calling him Captain Shrimp. Well, his wife came over with my grandfather George, who was all Christian. So it's funny, and his son was there. So no matter what, George loved his brother Thomas, even if he was a pagan. So I mentioned before in another video, if George did not die, things would have been different. Things would have been way different. There's a lot of pieces to the puzzle. But here's just a few facts, and you can Google stuff and do whatever you want to do. But check it out; it's pretty fun. Of course, I think it's fun because it's about about my lineage. But yeah, there's some cool people that even came over. Where was that? I think I saw Hilton on here, and they are of the Hiltons. They came over on the ship. Penn, the Penn's family. It's pretty neat because if you really do the research, you can see how cool that is. But let's see here. This here is some information from the state of Maine. It's the Lewis Historical Publishing Company, New York, 1909. This is ancestry and lineage from, I did my ancestry, father to son, to George, which is this fella. George is my grandfather. The name Mortain is found in France, all over the walls, Brittany, Normandy. Let's see here, because a grandfather was half-brother to King William the Conqueror, Robert Mortain. It goes Mortimers, Mary Moore to the Irish, Scotland part, Viking, way back to ancient stuff. It's pretty cool because even Roger Mortimer, one of my ancestors, was grandfather to Princess Diana and the boys, all the royal family. So, their lineage is, right there along. We were pretty tight to the crown and kings and queens for a long time. Knights of Baldry, which was right next to Scrooby, where the Mayflower and all that stuff took off with William Brewer, and William Brewer and Brewster, the same family. My mother was a brewer, so I have ancestry just a ton. It's insane. But let's keep going. A lot of yeah, he was Dukes of Cornwall, which is another story, but that it has stories to do with King Arthur and Merlin. Our oak is the center of England, 5 miles from Robin Hood's oak. Merlin's oak is the center of Wales, and a lot of it has to do with Archbishop and stuff like that. And one of our ancestors was John Morton, Celebrated Cardinal, Archbishop of Canterbury, and Lord Chancellor of England. He helped build the Tudor dynasty in Morton's Fork, and so on and so on. We had Earls of Dulcie and Cornwall. Thomas Morton, which was one of my grandfather's father-son, kept going. He was secretary to King Edward III, Bishop of Durham, chaplain to King James II. It just is just crazy amount of stuff. But our ancestor and Vice President Levi P. Morton, with the Statue of Liberty, were all ancestors of George and of Anthony Morton of Baltry, the historical families of England, and that of Romanist lineage. I'm still finding pieces of the puzzle there. It's pretty amazing stuff. But Scrooby Manor was just a little ways from Baltry, England, and with Morton, Nottinghamshire, and in fact, Gotham was only a few miles from Morton and Nottingham. So one of my ancestors was Robert Markham, the sheriff of Gotham. It's just amazing. It's amazing stuff. Let's see. He was this says he was the agent in the section of London, and another says he was the financial agent for the Plymouth colony. And such, he helped purchase the Mayflower with other men. I do know when I called Historical Society, they said that he was he helped load the Mayflower. He was a merchant, so he helped with supplies and stuff like that. And when he ended up coming over on the Anne, he had supplies. And I mentioned in a video that he, with those supplies, helped pretty much save the colony because they were low on food and medicine. He's distinctively known as the Forefathers of America. Let's see. I do want to mention, so that's pretty cool stuff right there. That's all fun stuff. But that's a Green Man. Hey, I want to share this. My son got me this. It's a Green Man necklace. He thinks it's pretty cool about Robin Hood and stuff now. So, when you put facts and you get to share with everybody, it's just amazing. So that's George. George and our family, King William the Conqueror and Archbishop and the pagan pilgrims. So our lineage goes way back, man, to France. That's why our royal lineage to France, and it just goes on. It's amazing. But I want to mention Nathaniel Morton, his son, my uncle. He actually documented the first Thanksgiving in this country. Enjoy food. Be kind to one another. But yeah, he served as secretary under his uncle William Bradford, which he took him under. I mentioned Alice Morton was, in fact, William Bradford's ancestor. He wrote The Desolate Wilderness, which is a book. He's an expert. The First Beginnings After the Progress of the Church of Christ at Plymouth in New England. It has appeared in the Wall Street Journal each year since 1961. So that's pretty cool. He did a few other amazing things. Let me see. He was just he was a pretty cool guy. Recovery of Bradford's own history. Morton, chief authority of the history of the Plymouth colony. Oh, the Mayflower Compact. He documented the Mayflower Compact, which led to the Constitution. So it's pretty fun stuff about the history. So I just wanted to get this information out there, So it's pretty simple to trace my lineage. I was raised in Vermont. My boys and my daughter were born in Vermont. Levi P. Morton, the vice president, was born in Vermont, all from Massachusetts and Connecticut and so forth. From England, and it goes back to some pretty cool Viking lineage and royal lineage and some amazing stuff. Why Statue of Liberty has Morton's Royal Toe. So I can show quite a few amazing things. Even Joseph Smith, man, he learned a lot of that religion stuff from in Vermont. He was born in Vermont also. So there's a lot. It goes a long ways back. Each person interprets it their own way, however they want. I believe. There's George and his brother. One was Christian, one was pagan, and even with us sharing trees at the Capitol and having our oak tree pretty much goes way back, is America's national tree now. Having Christian pagan, it really is intertwined, and it does go back a long ways. I can't say how far. It's hard to tell symbols. When you get a long ways back, you get the symbols and stuff like our rams. They say they're the goats of Thor, which are Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder. So it's pretty cool stuff. It goes a long ways back, and of course Thor's oak. So this is George. I'm not sure. Ask me some questions. Share the Dragon Oak Treasures. I hope I didn't bore you to death with all this history. Please subscribe and reshare and spread the word. Check out the other videos. Thank you very much. Take care.